Hello everyone and welcome to my Bachelor Nation official channel. I hope everyone is having a wonderful day. Before we begin, please hit the subscribe button and gives this video a thumbs up. The journey toward the altar for Grant Ellis and Juliana Pasquarosa had been a whirlwind, yet one that felt destined in many ways. Their engagement on The Bachelor season 29 had garnered plenty of attention, and with each passing month, their relationship only deepened, developing into a love that seemed both tender and passionate. As the weeks turned into months, it became clear that Grant and Juliana were not just a couple in the spotlight, but two people who had found something rare and precious in each other. From the beginning, Juliana had been a standout contestant. Her warmth, intelligence, and easygoing nature captivated Grant. But it was their shared moments, particularly that unforgettable evening in an Edinburgh castle, that solidified her place in his heart. It was there, amid the romantic grandeur of Scotland's rich history, that Grant saw Juliana not just as a partner in this reality television experience, but as someone with whom he could genuinely see a future. For Juliana, the journey had also been transformative. Coming from a tight-knit family, she was used to being surrounded by love and support. But the adventure of The Bachelor had offered her something she had never expected: deep emotional intimacy with someone who truly understood the kind of loneliness she had felt growing up in a big family. She saw in Grant a man who valued connection as much as she did. She never once pressured him, understanding that love needed time to blossom naturally. Instead of rushing toward a wedding, they focused on learning each other's quirks, dreams, and fears, and it was this patient approach that made their relationship feel all the more real. As they moved toward their wedding plans, it was impossible to ignore the stark contrast between their story and that of Joan and Chock Chapel from The Golden Bachelorette. Joan and Chock had gotten engaged during the season's finale, capturing the hearts of viewers across the nation. Yet, despite their initial excitement, their wedding plans seemed to stall as life continued to get in the way. Joan, based in Maryland, and Chock, from Kansas, had fallen into the complicated rhythm of a long-distance relationship. Their romance had flourished amid the whirlwind of The Golden Bachelorette, but now as they attempted to blend their lives, the realities of careers, family, and distance became much harder to manage. Grant and Juliana were in the unique position of not being burdened by those same pressures. Yes, they were also planning a future, but the couple felt fortunate to have the luxury of time. They were able to take things slowly, savoring each moment. Juliana's close relationship with her family was something that Grant found particularly comforting. He appreciated the way her siblings and parents had embraced him. For Juliana, Grant's willingness to uproot his life in Houston and move to her hometown of Boston was a huge gesture of commitment. It was clear that he wanted to build a life with her, and that meant being present in her world. In the months following their engagement, conversations about their wedding began to take shape. They were adamant about having a destination wedding, and Italy was the dream. "We're going to live it up," Grant declared one evening as they sat on the balcony of a cozy cafe in Boston. "There's going to be wine, there's going to be family, and there's going to be a celebration of life." For Juliana, this vision of their wedding in Italy felt like a natural next step in their story. She imagined a small ceremony, surrounded by the people they loved most, with the breathtaking backdrop of the Italian countryside. It would be a blend of cultures, her large, lively family mingling with Grant's closest friends in an environment that allowed them to truly celebrate the love they had found. By contrast, Joan and Chock's wedding plans seemed to lack that same clarity. They had talked about a large televised wedding, something that would allow their love to be shared with the same audience that had followed their journey. However, the idea of a grand wedding seemed at odds with their desire for privacy and intimacy. Joan's reluctance to make any decisions was compounded by the fact that she had two children who were also navigating their own significant life events. One of Joan's sons was getting married, and another was reportedly about to get engaged. Joan, understanding the need for balance in her family's dynamic, had put her own wedding on the back burner. She explained in interviews that her priority was supporting her children through these milestones, stepping aside so that their long-distance arrangement seemed to work, at least for the time being. Despite being apart for weeks at a time, they kept their bond strong, regularly visiting each other's homes and spending as much time together as possible. In fact, they had even considered getting a third home in New York City to make things easier, though that place is still in the air. They had become comfortable in their pattern of travel, making it clear that they were in no rush to make permanent decisions. Their love was undeniably strong, but the reality of their lives, both with established careers, grown children, and separate social circles, meant that wedding planning was a low priority. By contrast, Grant and Juliana's relationship was still in its early stages. While they were taking things slow, it was evident that they were excited about the future. They spoke regularly about having children, and their desire to start a family sooner rather than later gave them even more reason to settle down. They wanted to create a home where they could share those moments together, creating memories, building a family, and living a life that felt grounded. It was clear that Grant and Juliana were navigating their relationship in a different way than Joan and Chock. While Joan and Chock were working hard to blend their established lives, Grant and Juliana were embarking on something fresh and new. For Grant, the prospect of moving to Boston for Juliana was not a difficult decision. He was ready to commit fully to their relationship, and the idea of relocating from Houston seemed like a natural step. His bond with Juliana was so strong that being apart from her for any length of time was unthinkable. The differences between the two couples became even more apparent when considering the pace of their respective journeys. While Joan and Chock continued to wrestle with their plans, Grant and Juliana were already discussing practical details, from wedding venues to future plans. The idea of a long engagement didn't appeal to them. They wanted to be married, to make it official, and to begin their lives together as soon as possible. Despite the contrast in their approaches, both couples were united in their love and commitment to each other. Joan and Chock's relationship had taken a more measured pace, one shaped by their individual circumstances, while Grant and Juliana's was unfolding with excitement and hope for the future. Their love stories were different, yet each couple found a way to build a relationship that worked for them. Thanks for watching. If you liked this video, do not forget to subscribe to my channel and do not miss any update.